Israeli officials say 3 people have been killed in a shooting attack at a border crossing between the Israeli-occupied West Bank and Jordan. Israel's military says a gunman approached the Allenby Bridge border crossing from the Jordanian side in a truck and opened fire at security forces, who killed the assailant in a shootout. 3 Israeli civilian guards were killed at the crossing, which is also known as the King Hussein Bridge crossing. Jordan's Interior Ministry says it is investigating the shooting. Jordan made peace with Israel in 1994, but is fiercely critical of its policies towards the Palestinians. More than half of Jordanian citizens are of Palestinian descent, and many still have family ties to people in the occupied West Bank or Gaza. And for more, I can now talk to Emily Gordine, who is joining us in Jerusalem. Emily, what more can you tell us about what happened at the King Hussein Bridge crossing?
Yes, so the IDF has said that a gunman approached the crossing in a truck from the Jordanian side and opened fire at border officials. Their Israeli border officials and security forces then responded and killed the attacker in a shootout. Now, Jordan has responded by saying that it is investigating the incident. And like we just heard, Jordan, and we need to remember this, Jordan has made peace with Israel and in 1994. And over the past few months, it has helped Israel fending off drone attacks by Iran. And at the same time, we also know that it has been very critical of Israel's policies towards Palestinians. And back to this attack where the incident actually happened. Now, this incident happened at a crossing that connects the occupied West Bank with Jordan. And in the occupied West Bank, we have seen a surge in violence since the start of the war in Gaza that was triggered by Hamas's terror attack on Israel on October 7 last year. And we've seen, ever since, we've seen almost daily Israeli military raids in densely populated Palestinian residential areas. We've seen an increase in settler violence, but we've also seen an increase in Palestinian attacks towards Israelis. And observers are very concerned that in the absence of a ceasefire deal, the violence there could escalate even further. Of course, what we've also been seeing is more and more protests in Israel, with people demanding a ceasefire deal and the release of the remaining hostages. What's the response of the Israeli government to that? Well, yesterday, for example, we saw it was the 8th consecutive day of mass protests in Israel. In Tel Aviv alone, we saw about 400,000 people take to the streets demanding a ceasefire, demanding the release of the hostages. They have been accusing Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, of abandoning the hostages for political reasons, so he can keep his coalition together and safeguard his own political survival. Now, what you need to know here is that some of his cabinet members, 2 in particular, Israel's National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, have both spoken out against a ceasefire deal, and they are also putting immense pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu. And that is causing a lot of frustration among many protesters, and that's why they keep coming to the streets, keep going to the streets. And at the same time, it seems that it has very little effect on Benjamin Netanyahu and his government.
All right, Emily Gordine, thank you so very much.